This episode of Beers and Brawls is proudly brought to you by Shifty Lizard Brewing Co. Amazing little brewery down in Wollonga, serving up awesome ice cold beers on tap. They also have a kitchen that has amazing burgers and chicken wings. If you can't get down to Wollonga, they have another venue in the Adelaide CBD called Hard Day's Night, where they have all their beers on tap, plus they've paired up with a few other food trucks there. So, if you're looking for something to do on your next weekend free, get down to Wollonga or Hard Day's Night, make a day of it, try all their beers, try their food, you'll love it, I love it, it's one of my favourite places. So, cheers. That's a good drop. Welcome to Beers and Brawls, the show where my guest and I drink beer and talk all things wrestling. I'm your host Jared, and we have a very special episode tonight. We've got our first returning guest. Now this guy has done a lot since we've had him on. I think he was on season 1, maybe season 2, whatever it was. He's done a lot since then, so we've had the opportunity presented to us to get him back on, and we jumped at it, and we couldn't be happier. He is everything that you're not. He is part of the party power. He is Banjo Powers. Banjo, welcome back to Beers and Brawls.
Good to be back.
No, I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to have you back on the show. And like I said in the intro, you've done a lot since you've been on here last. So obviously this show is not going to be our normal format. We're not going to go through our rapid fires and stuff like that. Might throw a couple of questions at him, but I want to know what's been happening in the world of Banjo Power since we've had you on last.
So the last time I was on here, you and me, we wrestled at PWSA.
Me, I don't wrestle.
Don't you? Is that not what we do?
No, I'm just kidding. Go.
Anyway, yeah, I was here just for one match at PWSA.
Yep. Still living in New South Wales.
In New South Wales. And I went back and I decided I wanted to go train in Mexico.
Nice.
So I left and went to Mexico, and I lived there for a month.
Nice.
And that was interesting. So I stayed at a place in Mexico City, Bandito's Gym.
Nice.
Had so I couldn't speak any Spanish, so I had no idea what I was doing over there, man. It was just I'd get in a taxi or an Uber or something like that, and I would be like, "Oh, take me here!" I was so unprepared for any of this. I was just like, "We'll just have to see what happens."
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get in there, I get to this gym, and so out the front of the gym, it's I saw a cafe.
Yep.
And next to the cafe, there was a barber. Next to that, there was a shop that was selling lucha masks.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And amateur wrestling shoes.
Oh,
and
nice.
Knee pads and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this looks cool. It all looked clean. But next to the gym, it's all slums and stuff.
Oh, really?
It's little bits of goodness, then it's just I don't know. It's nowhere you've ever seen in Australia. Yeah. There's just all the houses are little, the shops are little, and there's just people with barbecues selling food everywhere, and then markets, and it stinks too.
Oh wow.
I don't mean that as an insult to Mexico.
No.
It's just it stinks. Everyone there will say it stinks too, even the locals. Anyway, so I go into this gym. The first thing I see is a glass cabinet, and it's a mannequin with Bandito's mask on it. in full lucha gear. I was like, oh, this is something. Anyway, so I go in, I sign up, and I get in there, and it's just a big it's a massive gym. Just weights and machines and stuff. And in the back corner, they had a wrestling ring, which is more of a boxing ring with tight ropes. And they had on the outside of that a sponge pit, so you could practice dives and stuff like that. Yeah, but the sponge hadn't been changed in ages. And if you know anything about sponge pits, the sponge sort of gets old and little bits of it degrades pretty much. and it gets like dusty underneath. Like that's pretty much what was happening. It needed a new sponge for ages. It was pretty gross.
Shit.
Anyway, so I went and I watched the guy who trained me, whose camp I went to. His name was Ricky Marvin.
I thought you went to Banditos.
Bandito's gym. I was living at Bandito's gym, but the guy there, Ricky Marvin, was training me.
Yeah.
And so I met him. He's about as tall as me. He's like the scariest bloke I've ever met. No, honestly, so anyway, he was teaching these like two 17-year-olds, like, who were probably like, I don't know, probably better than me. But like better than a lot of people I've seen. Just,
oh shit.
I was like, holy crap. Like, I was in over my head.
Wow.
Anyway, so I went in there and yeah, the classes, he introduced himself. He's all nice to me and stuff. And,
yeah.
The classes were, they were 3-hour classes.
Oh wow.
And they were 5 days a week.
Shit.
And they were from 8 to 11. For Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was like 8 to 11.
Morning or night?
Night.
Night.
Yeah, it was rough.
Whoa.
There's a weird story. And then Thursday and Friday was like, it was 4 to 7. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.
That's 3 hours.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I think freaking someone was arguing with somebody and it ended up the hours of the classes got changed. I don't know.
Wow.
It was all messed up. Anyway, so that's pretty late, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrestling training. So you.
8 to 11 p.m. Far out.
Yeah, it was hardcore. It was 5 nights a week. Yeah. So yeah, so I got trained in my room. It was a single bed, no sheet or anything like that, and they didn't give me a pillow. They just threw me a blanket. And so for the first few nights, I just used like my freaking the pillows you get on aeroplanes.
Yeah, neck pillow.
And it was fucked. Anyway, and the power point was like hanging off the wall and stuff. It was fucking hectic, man. It was I can't try and describe the floor. It's like that rubber. It's like a sort of rubber, but they had what looks like little round bits on top of it, like Lego. It wasn't like Lego, but
like the grip sort of stuff. Yeah.
So that's what was the floor of the room. So it was just, it was kind of cooked anyway. So, but I was like, whatever, this is cool. This is what I expected.
Yeah.
Kitchen is downstairs. It was alright. There was only a gas stove. There was no oven.
Okay.
There was a washing machine and there was a dryer, and they pretty much like that was it. And they was like, oh, there's room. You got to find some room in the fridge. I opened the fridge and they were just filled with shit. And I just never there's no way I'm gonna be able to use a fridge. Anyway, so I did all that. That was like in the lounge. They had a kitchen and they had a lounge room, and from there, it wasn't really a lounge room. It was just like a friggin' floor, and from there you could look down, and you could see the whole gym.
Oh wow!
And everything. Yeah. So anyway, I had my first night there, and I woke up in the morning, and everyone was getting evacuated because there was an earthquake, and I didn't speak Spanish. But luckily, there was a guy there from Puerto Rico. His name was Kevin, and he translated for me, and he knocked on my door and said, "You got to come outside. There's an earthquake thing." I didn't feel any tremors or anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, we went outside, and I'm just like, because when in Australia we don't have earthquakes ever, right? So
barely.
Yeah, I think maybe.
They're only little fellas, yeah.
No, not here, not in Sydney either. And like I was just like, what the fuck? Like I was completely out of my depth. And anyway, so alright, so that was the first day. So what did I do? I went for a little walk around around Mexico and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I had my first lesson class that day. And I trained with a guy called Skyday, who's legendary luchador over there. Wouldn't know him over here, but
he's my mate. I know.
Yeah, I bet you would. Anyway, he couldn't speak any English, but I met a guy called Cody, who was from Canada, and this other girl from America.
Yeah.
And her wrestling name's like La Chaparrita or something. She was like 4'8" or something. She was tiny. Anyway, she could speak Spanish, but so yeah, we're doing this class, and it was just middle of the day, and you had a few like luchadors and stuff like that there, and I don't know. He'd just show you the spot, and you'd do it and have a go at it. And yeah, I thought I did all right. Pretty hard, but you sort of people think, oh, you know, what am I going? How can I learn from this guy? He doesn't speak English. I guess in wrestling, like, you sort of understand by watching, and you know your basics and stuff like that. I should be able to do this. Anyway, that was awesome. So then after that, I had my first class with Ricky. That was different, a lot different, because he's just stern. He's old school. He's been wrestling since he was 5 years old.
Jesus.
So he actually went over to Japan when he was 19.
Okay.
And he'd already been wrestling for years and years.
Wow.
And he stayed in Japan for like it was 10 to 12 years. And he wrestled for a company called Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yep.
And if you... he has a really famous 3-minute match. I know, it's like they call it like the greatest... I don't blow too much smoke, but they do call it is like they do call it the greatest 3-minute match of all time. Some people do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
But
who did he wrestle?
A guy called Kenta.
Yeah.
He wrestled Kenta in his early days, and it's 3 minutes, but it's just like nuts.
I think I've heard of it.
I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I think I've seen it on Twitter.
You would think a 3-minute match would get you like.
Get your
so famous. Like,
all famous.
Yeah, that would be like the match that like people like know you for.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyway, but I started watching more of his stuff from like Mexico and like in the early 2000s, CMLL and stuff like that is awesome stuff. Like it's a lot different these days.
Yeah.
Obviously they do lots of spots and all that, but back then it was a lot more. It was a lot. I felt a lot more like a lot more wrestling with the athletic stuff. So it was really good.
A lot more real.
Oh, I'm gonna watch them soon. Actually, it's really good.
Okay.
But anyway, so we were going through all the classes, and he did a heaps heavy emphasis on like rolls and stuff like that. So we weren't doing like squats or anything Japanese style. But so after we did all the rolls, we did a few drills and stuff like few of the drills that get done at RCW and stuff like that, we actually did them.
Yeah.
So the first thing he's like, alright, this is what I'm going to teach you today, first class. And he goes, this is a Japanese arm drag. And he gets this bloke and he demonstrates. And he gets up and he does like the most perfect arm drag of ever. Like, I'm talking Ricky the Dragon Steamboat sort of stuff. Like, this guy got like 1.5 meters off the ground with it. And he threw this bloke. I was just like I hadn't seen anyone arm drag that clean before.
Yeah.
And I tried to do it. I got one, and then I did one and took one, but like it was just like it was pretty intimidating. Like
yeah.
Like I don't think because it's just like just go and do it sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like and most people are just like. Yeah, it's like I don't know. I'll touch more on that sort of stuff in a bit, but yeah, I did the training for a bit, and yeah, it was really hard sometimes because he would just start yelling at you and stuff, and put you on the spot in front of everybody, and like it's humiliating, man.
Yeah,
it was.
Full on.
Yeah, no, it was. It was pretty full just like because I couldn't get the submission. Like you had to do a certain role.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I couldn't get it. It was something to a pin, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And it was full just like, this bloke's like, in my ear, why can't you do it? Why can't... And it wasn't motivating at all. Like, it wasn't like trying to bring the best out of me. It was like, he's alright. I love you, Ricky, if you ever watch this, which you won't.
He's watching. He's a big fan.
He's a big fan. He's a big fan. It was just like, why is this so hard for you? Like, full blown, like, just screaming at me. Yeah. There's like trying to bring the best out of people, like being hard on them.
Yeah.
This wouldn't have helped anybody. And then you do it, and I finally got it, and it was just, oh man.
How hard was that?
Not even. It was just so disappointed.
Oh wow.
I was just like, but I got it anyway, and I think he thought I was gonna fucking quit, but I just kept going.
Yeah.
I was pretty like. Because I like went up to my room after that class and I was like, fuck this shit. And then I messaged a bloke that had some experience in this stuff. His name's Brian Cannon. He was an Australian who went over to Japan and trained in dojos and ended up lives there now and made a life off wrestling.
Okay, yeah.
I messaged him, I was like, hey bro, I need your advice. This international training is fucked. And he gave me some kind words and some motivation.
Yeah.
And I kicked on.
Good.
And I gradually got better at all the things.
Nice.
And eventually I was doing some Sky Day classes. I was doing the Ricky Marvin classes. And I found some other classes in the city, because in Mexico, right, it's not like Australia where you have to sign up to wrestling clubs, right?
Yeah.
There's just rings everywhere, and there's just like guys hosting trainings.
Oh wow.
And you just rock up with like 50 peso or whatever, which is like $5 Australian.
Yeah.
And just give them that, and you can just join the class.
Wow.
And no one really cares, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's like tribalism in Australian wrestling and stuff like that. You can't just rock up. You have to sign up and sign a waiver.
Open the forbidden doors. And...
Yeah. You have to sign waivers.
Yeah.
I never did that once. What's a waiver? What's a waiver? No, you just rock up and it's just...
That's pretty cool though. That's pretty cool.
Well, you could go to you could train at 3 different places all at once.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool.
Yeah, and bump into like legend luchadors like you said and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, you got there's some ex-WA guys over there. There's we had one guy turn up at one of Ricky's classes. I don't remember his name. All I know is he was a luchador in WCW.
Oh wow!
And I didn't get his name. No, I think he was just in a
psychosis.
No, he wasn't that. He wasn't that big, but he was. I don't know. It was.
But it was somebody.
He was somebody.
He did something.
He did something in WCW.
That's cool, man.
But
I like that. That's cool.
But no, you go you just had dudes like rocking up, like all the time. It was messed up. Like after I left, they had like Ray Phoenix and stuff in there doing classes, and they have it's just dudes like that all the time. Then Sasha Banks and Bailey went and trained there.
No way.
Yeah, just under Ricky.
Yeah. Just pop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So you're in Mexico for a month.
Yeah.
And obviously, did you start to learn sort of some of the language? Like you said, you got better at the wrestling, but did you find you're getting better at the language, finding your way around the place? Did that sort of come a bit more natural or not?
No. The Spanish I started picking up a tiny bit. Getting around Mexico City, nah. Dude, the driving over there is nuts. Like, there's no rules anywhere.
Okay, yeah.
There's no rules. There's like, I don't know how that city functions. It's just, it's just a thing. It is so different.
Did you go to any of the pharmacies and get some of the Jeff jabs or?
No, mate, but no comment. No comment. But I'll just say there's no rules in Mexico. That's all I'm saying.
Jeff would be very happy over there.
Yeah, there's no rules. And the chemists don't have rules either. That's what I'm saying.
I got to give you a shot before we move on to the next thing because I was rude and didn't give you the intro shot. It's a little throwback to our episode. We had the sour monkey apple. We got some apple rum here, so since you like the apple, it's a little bit more fiery than the sour monkey, but I'm sure you'll like it. Don't wait for me, mate. It's all good.
No, I don't. Yeah, gotta wait for you. It's your. It's your show.
Oh, it's your episode. Oh, nice.
Where'd you find this?
BWS. It's not bad,
They've ruined Sailor Jerry.
mate. You put it with just put it on.
That's
over
a fine spice.
put it over
Spice
some-
rum you put with vanilla Coke made.
That's not the spice one. It's just normal.
I don't care. Sailor Jerry's a spiced rum every time when I.
Anyway, enough about the rum. So
we're finishing up in Mexico.
we're finishing up in Mexico.
Right.
What were your next moves when you were getting ready to finish up in Mexico?
So, when I was over in Mexico, I decided I wanted to move on from my first promotion.
Yeah.
Just to, I don't know, just change things up.
So you're looking to leave that or leave the state completely? What were
I
your
was
sort
looking
of
to.
first
I
thoughts?
wanted to travel to another state
Mhm.
and live, and because I know you, I thought I'd drop you a message.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, come along. Come to Riot City Wrestling. And I talked to a few other people I knew. And they said, yeah, Riot's cool. And obviously, like, plenty of people, successful people that come from there. And
Matt Hader.
yeah, like Matt Hader.
Sorry to throw you off.
Anyway, yeah,
So you made the choice to
I
come.
made the choice. I came back to Sydney. I stayed in Sydney for 10 days.
Yep.
Then I got an Airbnb in Adelaide, and I stayed there and for 2 weeks, and then I had 2 weeks to find a job and find a place to live that
Yep.
wasn't an Airbnb. And on the last day, I managed to find both of them.
Nice. There you go. Good.
There you are. So, and then it's been Riot City Wrestling ever since.
Yeah, nice. And as you know, fans of the product in South Australia would know, we've seen Banjo all over Riot City. He's been all over PWSA, ACW, doing all the promotions around here. So it's been awesome to have you in South Australia.
Oh, thanks, mate.
What have you found are the the big things about coming to Riot City? What's changed for you? What have been some of the lessons that you've learned that have really stuck out to you since coming over?
How important it is to look good.
Yeah.
To make sure you look the part when it comes to a pro wrestler. That's very important at Riot City. Make sure you're tanned or you're not booked. No.
You got a tan for everything.
You got to
Tryouts and all.
tan, always tan. Everyone's tanned, and if you're not tanned, someone will say, "Did you even tan?" Definitely looking good. Making sure all your stuff's polished. Learning to accept criticism.
Yep.
Constructive criticism. That's pretty much it. The obviously, like, there's a pretty high standard at Riot City
Yeah.
that
yeah.
you gotta keep up if you want to get on shows, and yeah, that's what I try to do.
And how did this pairing with Party Guy Ty come about?
Well,
You gone from when I first met you, not the nicest of blokes in the ring,
very naughty boy.
naughty boy in the ring, the hot shot, everything you're not, the man with the furry coat, and now you've gone into a fun-loving, awesome party guy. So what's going on there?
So what happened was, I was wrestling party guy because I wanted his PWSA Adelaide Open Championship.
Yeah.
And he beat me. And yeah, well, I kind of shook his hand afterwards because it was a good fight.
Yeah.
And then we tag teamed. We made a team against a few guys from Melbourne, and there was just instant chemistry, and the crowd loved us, and we definitely knew there was something there that could be that we could use. Like, we definitely knew, and
you can definitely see that you're one of the hottest sort of tag teams going around at the moment in Adelaide. So definitely over with the crowd. Had a title run at PWSA, won the championships.
We did. Unfortunately, we lost them recently, but hey, these things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's definitely like a lot of it's going very well, and we're doing quite well, and we're next up. We want to try and get those RCW Tag Team Championships.
I think it's definitely a possibility.
I think so.
Definitely. Coming to Riot City, did you expect to be doing stuff like beer and barbecue, travelling to Tumby Bay? Did you expect to be doing those sort of stuff, or what did you find when you got those opportunities? Were those things that you were doing in your old promotion back home, or you not so much?
Maybe the beer and barbecue stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd done I think I'd done two festival shows.
Yeah.
They were just like country shows.
Yep.
The Tumby Bay trip, that was something else.
Yeah.
That was, I hadn't done anything like that before. That was wild.
Yeah.
That was wild. What a show. Check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
RCW's YouTube page. Watch the Tumby Bay show.
Absolutely.
There's some freaking banging matches on there.
Very good show.
That was awesome.
But what an experience to be wrestling in a country town and also at a country sort of show, fair, whatever you want to call it. So you obviously didn't expect to be doing any of that sort of stuff with Riot City, or you knew about that sort of stuff?
Not.
And like
street parties. I didn't know we'd be doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I really think they're crucial to do them, and I'm glad Riot City does a lot of them because they're very important for confidence building.
Yeah.
They're very important for developing your skills and stuff like that. So I love them, and you know what? Some of the best matches are on those. Shows. Like, I watched one of the shows once. It was at this Mexican festival.
Yeah.
And there was this guy dressed as a taco. And
I was going to bring that up. I've heard rumours that your name was thrown around as being the taco man.
No, I'm not the taco.
You're not the taco man?
Personally,
we've crushed that rumour, guys. I had questions, sent to me. Is it him?
I know him. I know who it is. Very handsome.
Very handsome.
Oh,
he was a good taco. He made the crowd go.
He was a tasty, spicy.
Does he know kung fu though?
No. That's
I've heard rumours that Banjo's learned kung fu.
You mean kung fu?
Kung fu. The kung fu.
Yeah, no. I heard he watched a YouTube video, a 10-minute one on how to do it, and suddenly he thought he knew everything.
Well, this rumour's come out of something I saw on your social media of a New Japan seminar and tryout with Bonza and Jack Bonza and Bad Luck Fale.
Yeah.
That was just recently, actually. So how did that go for you?
Yeah. It went. It was good. It was good. It was awesome. It was a great experience, great learning experience, and I don't think there's anything more petrifying. Like, wrestling in front of a crowd is pretty scary, but try wrestling in front of a room full of about 60 wrestlers. You don't know fear.
Yeah.
You've
had some experience with Fale before, haven't you?
Yeah, so I think we touched on this in the first episode.
Yeah,
I went over and tried out just before just after the first lockdown. I went over to New Zealand and tried out for Bad Luck Fale's New Japan dojo in New Zealand, and I found out at the tryouts recently, I was one of 3 people out of like 10 chosen to actually be in his school.
Yep.
Pardon me. And I went back to Australia the next day, and I got the call saying I got in.
Yep.
I was like, I'm gonna make this happen. Next day at work, you get on the radio. This is in Sydney, by the way, and a few people, up to 30 people, have tested positive to COVID, and then you just know
Shut the doors.
when you know that's how it starts. You just like, here we go.
Yeah.
And now suddenly, 100 people have tested positive, and now we're locked down, and I couldn't get to New Zealand because they were closed the borders, and
Yeah.
and I missed out. And they filmed a documentary that was on the.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was what the tryout was for, to be on the documentary, pretty much.
Okay. So
and I missed out on that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that was fun. But so it was interesting seeing Farley again. He remembered me.
Did you get in?
Did I get
on
in?
this tryout that just happened?
I don't know yet.
Haven't found out yet?
I haven't found out yet.
No, that's fair enough. But no, what an experience. And what a story you've had from when we first met you here on the show. Just coming over to Adelaide to do some wrestling, and now living in Adelaide full time. Working, living, wrestling all over Adelaide.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to have you on here for a bit of a follow up.
That's right.
And you know you've done so much since we've seen you last. So no, I really appreciate it. But now that you're sort of a Nasty Dub mainstay, who are your top 3 wrestlers? Excluding yourself, of course, 'cause I know you'll put you in there, but your top 3 wrestlers in Riot City.
In Riot City.
In your opinion. You can split it into gender if you want, or if you don't want to touch that, you can just go all in.
My top 3 wrestlers at Riot City. Currently in this country?
They can be out of the country if they've just left.
It doesn't change anything. Alright, my top 3. Nick Armstrong.
Yep.
I don't like this question. This is gonna cause problems. I don't like this question.
Look,
my top 3.
There's a shitload of great talent in RCW.
Yeah,
I
can't do this.
You can pick 3 people,
I'm not doing
there's
this.
heaps of people that can make the list. We've got
How about you?
How about this then? Who are the up and comers you've got your eye on in Riot City
Um,
that you think could make a splash pretty soon?
Vincenzo Franco.
Yeah.
You can make up and comers.
Or someone who's really starting to make a push. Is there anyone that you've sort of got your eye on that's could be a threat, could be making a push?
Could be a threat. Cutthroat. That guy is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could snap me in half.
He's a big ranger banger.
Yeah,
That
I'm
bloke.
gonna have to rang a banger. That's you, mate. Anyway, and another young up and comer, Bill Redshaw.
He's covered, right?
He's covered.
He's
up.
He's up.
Covered.
He's going somewhere. He's going somewhere. But anyway, alright. I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
You can't put me on the spot with questions like that.
I
mate.
just like to get people.
Alright, who's your top 3 in Riot City?
My top 3, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Nick Armstrong.
Now you just copied that from me.
Yeah, I
'cause
did.
I said- now you're not going to say the final 2.
Yeah, I can't tell you the final.
Who's your favourite wrestler in Australia?
My favourite wrestler in Australia.
Yeah, favourite, not who you think is the best. Who's your personal favourite?
I'm thinking of the answer.
That's a good question.
My favourite. Oh, that's a good question. Now you've put me on the spot. It's not how we're meant to do this. Let me do my top 3 and I'll get back to that one. My top 3 at Riot City are Nick Armstrong, Chris Basso, and it'll be a tie between Matt Hayter and Katie Trey.
That's not your top 3.
That's my top 3.
That's a 4.
Yeah, I know, but there's a tie, so it evens out.
Yeah.
But one of my favourite in Australia is probably, I like Slex. I like watching Slex. I like Party Powers. They're two of my favourites to watch.
My top three at Riot City would be similar to yours. With because you're right. Like Katie Trey, Matt. It's hard to. There's so much talent.
But in saying that, after those four guys, you've got Zach Sabbath. You've got Matt Basso. You've got Banjo Powers. You've got Party Guy Ty. And then you go into the ladies. The wrestlers. You've got Violet Blitz, Delta, Amber. You got all these awesome talents. So Riot City is stacked. So
Riot City's stacked.
Your top
for days,
three
mate.
is not a genuine top three. If you're going to do a top three of maybe a smaller company, then you would have a top three. But
yeah, I don't know.
You don't have to answer it. You don't have to answer it.
Probably
you could do your top three favourites.
Who I think is probably the best wrestler, as in someone in the country at the moment.
Yeah.
Who is the best wrestler? From watching him in a few matches now, and then watching a whole bunch of people, so this isn't just me just going, oh yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah.
It's me forming an opinion upon matches I have watched. It's probably Istria.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's an honest
Punch Drunk History.
Yeah, Punch Drunk History.
Nice.
That's an honest from watching.
No, that's good. He's good.
A
He's
few
very good.
of his matches, and then it would be Mick Moretti he's so entertaining and stuff like that. Yeah. And then it's I don't know. There is heaps of talent in Australia. And
there's heaps another couple of my I've got a few favourites like the ones I said, and Julian Ward. I really love watching his stuff. Taylor King, those sort of guys. There's so many in all different states. So Australian wrestling is in a good place at the moment. So
it is, and what people don't realise is we actually have a lot of good wrestlers, compared to other countries.
Yeah.
Even in Mexico, there's a lot of people doing it.
Yeah.
Obviously, 10, 20 times more than how many people do it in Australia. But even compared to them, we still have a lot of good talent over here.
Well, I guess there's quality over quantity. You could have a lot, but if they're not good, then
even in the States and stuff, compared to them, we still have a lot of good talent, man. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But no one really knows about us. That's our biggest thing.
Well, I guess we are, in a way, things like World Series Wrestling, the New Japan that is coming, they've just done tryouts to get local talent on. Those sort of things showcasing our talent, like World Series, we had Matt Basso, Chris Basso, the Pereira. That's going to help get eyes on the Australian guys. So if people can get on those sort of shows, that helps in a way. And then maybe one day you can wrestle the indie god Matt Cardona and
maybe indie god maybe. But, it's what. I'll be honest. What frustrates me is some of the Australian talent are actually better than some of the guys that come over here. That's just me. Throwing it out there. Yeah. I've seen it. And I'm not just saying that because, they're the hometown guys.
No.
You watch a fair bit of wrestling and I can watch them and I'm like, okay. I know Australian guys that are better than this guy and...
Yeah, I guess it's hard when we're so secluded from everything. But,
well, that's it. And the thing is, we just don't have the numbers for crowds in this country. That's the main thing. There is 20 million people in Mexico City alone. That's the population of the country. And maybe a small percentage of them are wrestling fans.
Yeah.
when Banditos would have a show in their gym, like RCW has gym shows, we could get up to 230.
Yeah,
is it?
You're looking
200
at 200 to 250.
250 max, and that's maxed out. They managed to squeeze in, and the gym wasn't that much bigger. It was bigger, a lot. It wasn't that much bigger.
Yeah.
They managed to squeeze in like 800 people.
Fucking hell.
And they had like fucking. It was like it was going off in there, man.
Yeah,
like I'll show you
party.
videos later. It was just.
Yeah.
It's like a massive party.
Well, you get like the old heads talking in Australia saying we used to wrestle in front of 600, 700, 800 people, 1,000 people,
What, in the
theatre
70s?
or whatever. You know, late,
Yeah.
early 90s sort of thing, late 90s. But you're right. The crowd is just not there anymore. Like you have an RCW fringe show getting 500 people, and you think that's WrestleMania, and then your normal shows are pulling. Yeah, and not saying that they're bad quality shows, because you have some awesome cards, awesome shows, but you are right, and the crowd's just not there.
Yeah, well, no, I can understand how people don't get into it, but what people got to realise is, like, the kids love it. You know, that's why family wrestling's so important. Like, making sure it's appropriate for, like, kids and stuff like that, because the kids are obsessed with it. You know, you want the kids to come in and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, and bring families and stuff like that. Because families, you know, they're up to 5 people, 6 people, 7 people in lots.
Bring them in, they buy food, they buy merch. And, well, that's a good thing, I guess, about Riot City, that they put their shows on YouTube, is then people can actually see it and get the eyes on there. Yeah.
I will say, and this is just a suggestion for me to all of Australian wrestling. One suggestion, and it's a bit left field, and it's something I noticed overseas.
Yeah.
There was pretty cool food available at the shows. I'm just saying, like, there was just like, it's different. Like, it's different. You don't see that at any wrestling show.
Yeah.
There was just like people walking around with friggin' with just like things of like, it was like popcorn. Like fairy floss, it was like obviously special, like Mexican spiced, like sort of things, but they were just walking around like offering it, like, you know, like it could. I know it's all annoying. I'm not a promoter. I don't know how to organize this stuff, but I'm just saying, like, what it did was bring a bit of culture to the shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gives it a bit of feel. Yeah.
They had guys walking around with lucha masks on little fence posts. They're walking around just offering to people. Yeah. People with food. Stuff like that. Like, what it did is create a bit of culture, create a bit of like you're watching something. Let's go to the wrestling. We can get this cool food. We can get this cool merch, and we can watch some cool wrestling.
It's a night out. It makes it a real big night out. Yeah.
So
makes an experience.
That's, if I'm not a promoter, so I couldn't organize those things. But I'm just saying, like, I get you. There's a bunch of different things like that over in Mexico that they bring in to make it, you know, a full experience. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just like all sport does, yeah. You know what I mean?
You got the footy and all the stuff.
The Big Bash is really big on it.
Yeah,
like
cricket. BBL is huge.
But I don't know.
No, I like it, man.
It's a bit outside the box. I will say, if there was a show in Mexico, right, and they'd be on the street and there'd be like guys out the front, right, just like spruiking it.
Yeah.
Just like on megaphones, just Ultimate Lucha, like, and they'd be playing music through a megaphone, and there would just be like people, like it would be like a town event.
Just gravitate towards it.
It's just stuff you don't really see on YouTube or anything like that. You wouldn't have seen much of it, but like wrestling's huge in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like, it's like huge, and it's like a full town thing when a show's on. Yeah. It was cool. It was awesome to see.
That's a great experience. It's
going from Australia and seeing that is like
mind blowing.
Yeah. Like, it was mind blowing.
No, I love it, man. I love it.
But
anyway, I appreciate you coming on, man. I know you got things to do, so I'm not going to hold you up any longer. But no, big thank you for coming back on, man. That was a great little chat we've had.
It was great.
Appreciate you giving up your night to come on here. And I look forward to watching you and Party Guy Ty, killing it in the upcoming future.
Oh, we will be, don't worry.
Easy, man.
Easy.
Cheers, I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Beers and Brawls. Something completely different. We've had a returning guest in the main man, Banjo Powers. Great little conversation with him. So something different. We're going to throw these out as some extra bonus episodes going forward. So we're going to have some returning guests coming on now and again when we get the opportunity to have them on. So, sorry. People are being dickheads in the background, but that's all good. We're going to keep rolling. Big thank you to our sponsor for the episode, Shifty Lizard. Like I always say, guys, check them out. Awesome beers, awesome people. So thank you for the support. Like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. And until next time, cheers.